listening to the Ecosystem Approach show. I'm Jason.
And I'm Patricia. Tune in every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time and 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Transformation Talk Radio.
We discovered that human potential is severely limited when you program humans like a machine, which is standard practice today for self-improvement.
The Ecosystem Approach teaches you how to uncover your infinite potential by using natural methods that are truly revolutionary. Join us now for the Ecosystem Approach show. We can't imagine our lives without the ability to remove negative energy and do what we call clearing. We've been doing clearings for over 25 years, every day, and it makes a profound difference in our lives. We look around and see others who don't do clearing, and it seems crazy to us because it makes life so much more difficult. Today, we're going to talk about how to create clearing statements that are highly unique to you and how to adapt these statements to unique situations so you can clear anything. Don't miss this show. We are married intuitives with over 25 years experience who created the Ecosystem Approach. This is a groundbreaking way to see yourself in this age of Aquarius. We help you unleash healing and potential that is unknown today and is totally unique to you personally. This is not your typical type of energy work. We help you with life-changing internal discovery that is powerful, rational, practical, and useful for everyday life. Jason, let's start with the basics. What things, issues are clearable?
Almost everything. The things that are not clearable are things that are predetermined. I make fun of my wife all the time because she's short. That's not clearable.
In other words, at my age, I'm not growing anymore.
And this is kind of deceiving because she's sitting on a stool and I'm sitting on a chair.
Yes.
And so when we both stand up, there's a big height difference. But right now, on the camera, it looks the same.
Exactly.
But that's not clearable.
Okay.
But almost everything else, is clearable.
Okay. So Jason, what is clearable?
Anything and everything in terms of emotions, feelings, and here's the big one, intangible concepts.
Okay.
For example, luck, good luck, bad luck. I can't seem to get a break. That's clearable. Success.
Yes.
I don't have the success I want. I keep failing. Failure, is an energy.
Yes, it is.
Being accident prone.
Oh, yeah.
Having charisma, being likable.
Yeah.
There's all these intangibles that if you see them as energy, then you can start to affect them. And it's very, very powerful.
Right.
Now, most people in the self-help world will say, well, if you do this, this, and this, you'll be more likable. Not necessarily.
Well, but I will say this. If you shower, it does help.
Yeah, this isn't about personal hygiene.
Excuse me.
But the truth is that there's certain basics that you have to deal with, but some people have an energy attached to them that's not likable. For example.
Yes.
And we worked with people, in terms of likability.
Yeah.
If you can identify what's the energy. And we'll talk about how to do that later on in the show.
Okay.
Then you can name it and clear it and start working on it.
Okay. So, Jason, superstition versus energy work. Tell me about that.
Okay. This is a common misconception. And frankly, this is what distinguishes us between being airy-fairy and just craziness and real energy work.
Okay.
And I think part of the problem that people have with energy work in the first place, they see it as a superstition, or that's not real, or it's not concrete, it's not tangible.
Correct.
And that's true.
Yes.
But superstition, so let me define superstition first.
Okay.
It's wanting a specific result at a specific time,
Correct.
doing a specific action.
Okay.
For example, rubbing a rabbit foot before a baseball game so
Okay.
you'll get home runs
Okay.
is superstition.
Okay.
It doesn't change the energy. It
Mhm.
doesn't really affect you. Okay.
Okay. But in that situation, if you remove negative energy that blocks you from the skills that you already have.
Well, exactly. If a
Okay.
baseball player came to us
Okay.
and said, I'm in a batting slump,
Mm-hmm.
we wouldn't have them rub a rabbit's foot. What we would do is try and identify what is the energy that's connected to that
That
batting
slump.
slump.
That
Yes.
slump. Yes.
And then clear that very,
Mhm.
very
Yeah,
specifically.
I agree.
That's the difference. Now, some people say, well, okay, we've had people come to us and say, um, um, I have this bill due by Friday,
Oh, yeah.
and I don't have the money. What do I do? Well, we always start helping them clear for money to come to them.
Yes.
It's not a guarantee that
No.
that's going to happen. When you work with energy, it doesn't always give you what you think you want, but it always gives you what you really need.
I will admit.
And it
that's
responds to that
Yes.
part of yourself,
Yes.
your essence, that knows what's in your best interest,
Yes.
not what what your ego thinks
Correct.
you have to have or what you need.
Right. So, Jason, how does the clearing work?
So basically is intention. Now people can get carried away with this. I know that there are religious dogma that says if you pray and you don't get what you want, it's because you don't believe enough.
Or you don't have enough faith.
You don't have enough faith. That's not this at all. Okay.
Okay.
This is when you clear, and if you just say the words, even if you don't really believe it,
Yes.
it'll still work.
Okay.
Clearing always works.
Yes, actually, we've seen this more than once. Well, but I want to go back to something for just I want to define something. Superstition versus energy work for just 1 second. The bottom line is that I've had people come to me and say, I want to lose 20 pounds by Friday. Well, one of the most amazing things that a lot of other people would say, well, let's see what we can do. No, there's a reality. We live in a form of reality. And I have to tell you, losing 20 pounds by the end of the week is not only not what I would call really possible, but the bottom line is, how bad is something like that for your personal health?
Well, and that's the key, I think.
There you go.
Because your essence won't let you lose 20 pounds in a week because it doesn't want you to hurt yourself.
Exactly.
Now, your ego doesn't care.
Exactly.
Your ego
or your waistline, yes,
says, I've got to go to this function in at the end of the week, and I'm gonna do whatever I can, and that can get you in a lot of trouble.
Yes, it can. Yes.
Here's the other thing that with intention, it's just an indication. It's not big. It doesn't have to. You don't have to sweat bullets. You don't have to go, oh, I'm gonna intend what I want.
Oh, I see. I'm gonna intend to get what I want.
Yeah, you don't have to. It doesn't have to be a big ego thing. It's just it's very subtle, and it's just say, okay, yeah, I want.
Well, okay. So,
and here's the best example.
Okay.
We have 2 dogs.
I was gonna use the same one. Go ahead.
Ron, the male dog,
the little brown one,
stands at the door and looks at it.
Yes.
His intention is for that door to open.
That is correct.
And 9 times out of 10, it works.
It does, because someone will go let him in or out. But I had even another one. His intention is, we live in a place where there's a lot of gophers, and he'll see a gopher pop its head up, and he will go stand and watch that hole for hours, just in hopes that the gopher is going to pop its head up and he's going to be fast enough to get it.
Yes.
And by the way, he's never brought in a gopher yet. Notice I said yet.
But
so
he's still trying.
Jason, let's talk about the clearing statement.
Okay, let's break it down.
Okay.
And if you've heard it before, it's I direct all my resources in all dimensions to
Yeah.
eliminate.
Yeah.
So let's break it down. I direct all my resources. That tells who you're saying, hey, the resources, the energetic resources that I have around me, come to attention. I'm about to give you an order. I'm
Okay.
about to tell you what to do.
Yes.
So it says, wake up, pay attention. Here we go.
Mhm.
Um, in all dimensions. This is an address.
Mhm.
A lot of your resources that we're talking about don't exist in the physical plane. If
Mm,
you if you've ever heard about guides or people talk about angels,
correct.
people use those on a regular basis.
Yes, they
Those
do.
are your resources. Your essence is your resources.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so when we say in all dimensions, we're saying, well, it can be any place other than the physical dimension, and those apply.
Okay.
Okay, and then the verb to eliminate.
Mhm.
Now we like a very specific, unambiguous verb to eliminate.
Yeah.
With negative energy, we want to eliminate it. We don't want to make friends with it. We don't want to be wishy-washy at all. It has to go. That's very black and white.
Correct.
Sometimes we say and to activate, and activate is to bring in a lot of times planetary energies, life force, that sort of thing.
Right.
And that brings energy into you.
Okay.
The last thing is that we use the processor.
Yes.
And we're going to show you the processor in the third segment. But it basically, it takes in the negative energy in the top. You use your imagination to put it there.
Exactly.
And it processes it so it comes out neutral.
Correct.
Simple.
So, Jason, what is the summary of all of this this first segment?
Anything that is not already fixed or determined can be affected by energy work. It is especially good for emotions and feelings, as well as all types of intangible concepts like luck, success, reputation, likability, charisma, etc. The difference between energy work and superstition is the expectation of a specific result within a specific time frame is superstition. Energy work, there's never a guarantee for a specific outcome, but as you remove negative energy, positive things happen, sometimes in ways that you least expect. Removing negative energy or clearing by intention. It works via intention. However, it doesn't require belief or intensity. The clearing statement calls your energy resources to attention. It states where those resources are located and then what to do with that energy, to eliminate or to activate.
In the next segment, we're going to talk about how to create complex clearing statements so you can be very, very specific. Being specific is part of the ecosystem approach's superpower. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to talk about how to create complex clearing statements so you can be very, very specific. Being specific is part of the Ecosystem Approach's superpower. Jason, why is it so important to be able to create complex clearing statements and be very specific? What is that about?
That's where the power is.
Okay.
We call it a superpower when, a lot of other self-help, self-improvement, they don't remove the negative energy.
That's true.
And it's the negative energy. Now, it's not enough to say, I'm going to clear all the negative energy from my life.
Right.
Because it's not specific enough. So the negative energy just kind of laughs at you and says, okay, I'll just, if you don't call me out specifically, I'm just going to sit here and you can say whatever you want over there, but it's not going to affect me.
Right.
When you call it out very, very specifically, that's when it goes. And that's why this is so much more effective than so many other processes out there, is when you call it out specifically and you keep at it and you keep at it and you keep at it, it makes a huge difference. Things that most things that are almost impossible to deal with in this world. For example, sexual abuse. We've had so many people we've worked with that have some form of sexual abuse.
Yes.
The problem is that what usually happens is people learn to cope with it, cope with the feelings, understand how they felt about it, but they don't ever overcome those feelings.
Well, not only that, but the other part of that is that when you don't get rid of those, the negative energies connected to those feelings, what happens is you turn them on yourself.
Yes.
And they go inside. And it is one of the biggest reasons for breast cancer, everyone.
They create health problems. They create relationship problems. They create money problems.
All kinds
all
of
those things that you wouldn't even connect, or you wouldn't necessarily connect the dots unless you were doing the ecosystem approach.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry. I interrupted you. I apologize.
No, just the importance of being specific. That
was exactly what I was going to say. So explain in a little bit more detail the importance of being specific.
So, well, let's use an example. But when you don't name it exactly, just think of it as the reminds me of the Army, and they say, okay, I need 3 volunteers, and everybody steps back, and so if the sergeant or whoever is asking for the volunteers says, hey, Rohn and you, then you're it. Okay. All right. But if you're not named, you say, oh, you try and sleep back.
Yes.
Negative energy is the same thing, and these negative energies are the most difficult to deal with.
Yeah.
So let's give you some examples.
Okay.
We've talked about this before. Your mother would say almost daily, tell us about that. Talk about your hair.
Okay.
When you were a child.
When I was a child, I'm talking, we'll start with like beginning to go to school. It could have happened before, but it was more than anything. Our hair was very long, and she would get up and comb our hair, put it in a ponytail, and we had to be presentable. It was the rule. And but she would say to me almost daily, why don't you have hair like your sister? And what I heard was, 1, I wasn't as good as my sister. 2, that I had done something wrong. I had failed something in some way, but I didn't know exactly what it was. And then I believed, well, until actually connecting with the ecosystem approach, that I had failed at everything I had ever done in my lifetime just by being me.
Yes.
And it was very, very, very difficult for me to even call this out, because I really felt that if I spoke about this, I'm talking about the hair issue, that I was being disloyal to my mother. And it was very, very, very difficult.
So people come to us all the time and say, okay, I had this issue. So what do I clear? I don't know what to clear.
Right.
So it could be something like this. And to eliminate the pain that I felt when my mother said, why don't you have hair like my sister? You can almost describe the situation in the clearing statement.
Exactly.
To get rid of those issues or those things that you don't know.
Correct.
And what happens is, and we'll talk about this in just a minute, but there's another example that your mother would always forget your birthday, but never forget your sister's birthday.
Or all the rest of my brothers and sisters' birthdays.
Yeah.
And it was it was very confusing to me, because she always made a big hoopla about everybody else's birthday. And then when mine came along, it was like, oh, I forgot your birthday.
Yeah.
Like
then she'll get mad and make it your fault. But that's not the point. The point is so what do I clear? People come to us and say, okay, well, that's pretty complex. I don't know what to clear. What do I clear about that?
Right.
Now, since we've been doing this for so long, we could identify the emotions and start clearing those things.
Yes. But it takes a little while to figure out how to do that, and to allow yourself to have that what am I looking for? That have that ability to do so.
Yes. So you start out with and to eliminate all my feelings that I had, even if you can't identify them,
Yes.
when my mother forgot my birthday,
Yes.
the pain that I felt when my
Yes.
mother forgot my
And the
birthday.
hurt and
Yes.
and that.
And maybe you don't know shame, maybe you don't know hurt, but
Right.
and to eliminate the difficulty I had with my mother forgetting my birthday.
Yes.
Just
Start with
describe it
that.
and
Yes.
this and then clear it.
Yes.
Your clearing statements don't have to be short; they can be really long. I mean, they're yours.
Exactly. Yeah. Well
Give it
said.
the whole paragraph. Fine.
Who cares?
Yeah.
All right.
Just describe it.
Okay. So the other thing, or the next thing is that, am I correct, Jason? Being very specific regarding the clearing, it actually happens in layers. Explain that.
Yes.
part.
So most issues are in layers. So the
Okay.
trauma you had wasn't just about your hair. It was
No.
about the way you were treated growing up.
Yes.
But so there's a huge issue there that we've been working on.
And I'm still working on it, everyone.
Exactly.
There's still layers of it that come up. I find very surprising, if you must know the truth.
But the way we do that is we start out with, okay, and to eliminate how I felt when my mother forgot my birthday.
Yeah.
And maybe a couple of days later, something will come up and say, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I felt so alone.
Mhm.
And to eliminate feeling alone when my mother forgot my birthday.
Yes.
Feeling like I didn't belong in my family.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was one of my biggest ones right there.
So
sorry, I'm telling everyone my story.
many people don't want to be specific and go into the layers because those memories are painful.
Well, and I'm going to answer this. I thought the same thing, but what I found is when I started removing the energies, then I realized I didn't have to connect with those negative energies anymore, and I could put them in the processor. And we're going to talk about the processor in a few minutes, but I could take those feelings and put them in the processor, and I didn't have to wear them anymore. That was huge to me.
People are afraid that if you go back there, you're going to re-victimize yourself over and over again.
And by the way, then clear being a victim to it.
A great example, you see this on TV all the time, but it's really true. Rape victims don't want to recount what happened.
That's true.
Because they reconnect with that. But if you clear the pain,
yes,
all the feelings, being numb,
yes,
all those things. So
right. Well, and then we've talked about it before, but what do you do when you don't know what to clear, Jason?
Just describe the situation in words. It's that simple.
Okay.
It's not necessary to identify the emotions or feelings, just the situation.
Okay.
And when you have a health condition and it's being treated, clear the condition.
Yeah.
And to eliminate
how about cancer?
Cancer. My specific type of cancer, and to eliminate all the dysfunction, all the negative energy connected to.
Well, and I would say this specific kind of cancer and my attachment to it.
Another way, in terms of relationships,
good
when you could say, and to eliminate the pain I feel when I fight with my spouse and she says blah blah blah, or he says blah blah blah, and I get mad.
Yes,
just put it like that.
Feelings get hurt.
Yeah,
like
you may not know exactly what it is, but just start with that.
Exactly. So, Jason, what is the summary of this segment?
The greatest superpower of the ecosystem approach is the ability to clear or remove negative energy specifically. It is necessary to be hyper-specific to target and remove that negative energy because it has a consciousness and doesn't want to be removed. It tries to continue to exist in your consciousness, and being vague and lacking specific aids it in that process of avoiding removal. Right. Deep trauma and painful programming exists in layers, and it can take years of specific clearings to understand and remove. As you remove and clear those memories of painful situations, the original pain subsides, and you'll be able to work with those memories more effectively. It is always possible to describe the situation when you don't know what the feeling is or what to clear. Long clearing statements are always acceptable.
Exactly. In the next segment, we're going to talk about common problems and difficulties that people have when clearing. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to talk about common problems and difficulties that people have when clearing. Jason, what is the most common problem people have when they're trying to do clearing?
They expect the clearing to be validated or to see the results through their feelings. And it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Well, then how does the clearing work?
You may not feel it. Sometimes it takes days.
Mm-hmm.
What people don't understand is that dark energy has a consciousness,
Yeah.
and it uses your feelings because they don't have to be objective.
No. Oh,
To screw with you, to make sure that you get distracted, so that you don't move forward, don't evolve.
okay.
With the clearing and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it can put emotions in there that are really
Well,
just lies, basically.
well, I was going to say, and the emotions that are there, we'll say it this way, at times can even become louder than they actually are.
Yes, or
that would be a way I would say it.
yes. Now, for someone like us, we both use our emotions with our intuition.
Absolutely.
Our intuition is a big part of who we are.
Yes.
But here's the problem, okay? Until you start removing a lot of that negative energy, your emotions aren't reliable, and
Yes.
and that's why people, that's how people justify programming themselves, because
Yes.
they don't want to check inside, want to just focus on what their goals are, and that's it.
And in programming, we're trained not to check inside. We're programmed to view ourselves by other people's judgments of us.
Yes, which is also emotional and very subjective.
And by the way, why would I give someone that power over me?
Yes. So the takeaway is that clearing works.
Yes, it does.
And whether you feel it in that moment, you feel it the next day, or you don't feel it at all, it still works. You have your intention, and you're going through the process of of saying what it is, and then putting in the processor.
Correct.
It works.
Yes.
So, an example.
Okay.
You were told almost daily that you weren't good enough and somehow defective, whether it was your hair or something else. And it was
both.
In contrast to the rest of your family.
That is correct.
And it sometimes it takes a long time for that kind of trauma to clear. That's the layers that we were talking about.
Exactly. And I just want to put in there, in those layers, the most amazing thing to me, and because I'm very curious about all of this, everything, is that the things that you see that are attached to that trauma or drama of, say, your childhood, we don't even realize how complex we are as humans.
Yes.
We do not realize it.
Yes.
And it's it can be pretty amazing if you take that perspective.
And some of those things can take a while to clear. Just recently, we both were feeling like we weren't making any progress. Things weren't happening.
Correct.
We were stymied, but objectively, that wasn't the truth at all.
No, it wasn't. It was just energy trying to stop us from continuing to go forward.
Exactly.
Well, and so that brings me to the very next question, and I think it's one of the best questions of all.
Okay.
Am I correct that energies such as hopelessness create things like sabotage to what you're trying to do?
Well, I would say reverse.
Okay.
The biggest thing to sabotage your forward progress is hopelessness. The specific emotion.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that we see it so often.
Yes.
It comes out to us.
Mm-hmm.
People were working with us and come to us and say, this isn't working.
Oh, that's one of the biggest ones. Yeah.
I remember we had this client in the very, very beginning, and she would be working with you. She'd come out of the room and walk past me in the living room, and she said, "This isn't working." And it would just, I would just get all upset and try and give her logic, which of course was nuts. It didn't work.
Right.
And because that hopelessness is emotional.
Correct.
It's not objective. It's
Correct.
not,
That's exactly right.
it's not, um, it can't be validated. It can't be, you can't measure it. You can't,
But you can clear it.
yes.
And
When people are hopeless, they say, "Oh, why bother? It doesn't make it.
yes.
I'm not going to do anything. Why bother? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
This,
And why am I going to waste my time
Yeah.
on this?
Yes.
Yes.
So, the other thing is that often the people come to us, they want to achieve something that is impossible,
Yes.
and they set themselves up for the hopelessness.
Yes.
I had a client who wanted to be like Richard Branson. And because he had a father who was very successful and didn't acknowledge his success,
Mhm.
and he had the false belief that if he was more like Richard Branson,
that
his
his
father
would like him.
would like him, acknowledge him, would see him, that sort
Right.
of thing.
Right. Okay.
That wasn't the problem, but
Oh.
he thought if he did this, then he would get this, and that's part of our programmed world that we are.
Yes.
When you start removing negative energy, you can see who you are,
Yes.
what you want,
Yes.
and how to get it in a way that makes sense.
And it's really kind of interesting. So, Jason, explain changing the energy versus thinking.
We've been programmed, and this was us too, okay?
All of us.
To believe that falsely, that it's your thinking is what changes your behavior.
Yeah.
And it's and your feelings. So if you think differently, if you think this way as opposed to this way, then things are going to change.
Right.
But that's not true.
Yeah.
As intuitives, we see this. It's so starkly clear.
Yes.
It's the energy that changes behavior.
Yes.
So if you're instead of trying to think differently,
Yes.
clear the energy that's making you think in a certain way, whether it's hopelessness, anger,
Right.
fear, shame, unworthiness, and then see what happens.
Well, and just recently, this was an experience for me helping someone do some clearing, and the clearing was I'm not being acknowledged for all that I do. And so we did clearing around it, and we did very specific clearing we even used names and that sort of thing. And at the end of the session, it was like, well, okay, expecting instantaneous results. I got a phone call, or actually a text, a couple of days later, and said it was in all caps, it worked. And so I explained later that we have these expectations that it's going to happen right now, when the truth is energy doesn't work that way.
And we've had so many
changing energy doesn't work that way.
So many people that come to us and say, "Oh, this just happened," and then we think back and say, "Well, remember
when we cleared this
3 weeks ago, or a month ago,
Yes.
or is 2 months ago, maybe
Yes.
even longer than
Yes.
that."
Yes.
That's how it works. And
Yes.
and it always acts in your best interest. It doesn't act what necessarily you think you believe or want or have.
Exactly. So, Jason, let's do the summary, and then let's talk about how to do the clearing itself. Okay.
Clearing always works, but many people use their feelings as a barometer to rate how effective the clearing is in their life. It is perfectly acceptable to clear and not feel the progress with emotions and feelings.
Right.
The dark energy uses hopelessness to stop the clearing process because it wants to continue to exist in your life. And hopelessness sounds like you've been doing this and nothing's changed, or it's not working. But the truth is that when hopelessness is not obscuring your objectivity, there is always progress, no matter how subtle. The longer you do the clearing and the more you do, the greater your results. Many people continue to believe that changing your thinking is the key to real change. But the truth is that when energy changes, things change. Change the energy first. It's not your thinking that brings about change. It's the energy.
And changing the energy.
Yes.
Yes. I love that. So, Jason, let's discuss how to do the clearing walk. We'll walk everybody through, and then we'll do some clearing in the next segment.
That sounds good. So it's very simple. You don't have to be reverent. You don't have to be you don't have to assume a specific position.
Okay.
A lot of people want to do the lotus position and all those things.
Well, and that's all fine if that's what they want.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
But you don't have to do that. You can be
Right.
you can be walking, you can be laying down,
Mhm.
you can be slouching in a chair, you can do anything you want.
Oftentimes I will do clearing when I'm doing the dishes, when I'm taking a shower, when I'm watering the garden. Oftentimes I will do things that, in other words, it can be done anywhere.
We do it when we go for a walk, usually with our
We
dogs
do
in the morning.
Yeah, exactly.
So in your mind's eye, this is your imagination, and this is how you activate your intention. So when we say to eliminate, use your intention to take all those things to eliminate, whether it's emotions or veils and illusions or barriers, gather them up, blow them into the processor. Ask Emily to put the picture of the processor up now, and it goes in the top, it gets processed, comes out neutral.
And then after that, what we're going to do is we're going to activate life force energy. Life force energy is the most powerful energy we have access to. And this energy, along with the clearing, will make your life different. It will make your life better. So with all of that said, stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to help you use clearing statements to help you clear and remove negative energy, especially around your own clearing process. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to remove negative energy so you can begin to figure out how to do your clearing process so that you can do what's in your best interest. And this, by the way, the clearing has changed my life. I have been able to move on from a lot of the damage that happened when I was a kid. And I'm very, very, very grateful to not only use the clearing, but actually be part of it on a regular basis. So it's really changed my life. So stick with us and change your life as well. So with that said, Jason.
So here we go. Okay. We're going to say the whole complete statement, and then we're going to break it down, and we'll just start clearing. So here we go. I direct all my resources in all dimensions to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see that everything is clearable, or the negative energy can be removed.
Yes.
So take the veils and illusions, use your intention, your mind's eye, gather that up, blow it into the processor, put it in the top there.
There you go. Now we're going to shorten it up just a little bit. And we're going to do it this way. And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see that clearing is especially good to remove negative energy in my life, especially bad feelings and negative emotions. Take a breath and blow it out. Jason?
And to eliminate the stress, anxiety, and overwhelm I have, because these feelings come from negative energies attached to me, and I can just clear them or remove them. Take a breath, gather up all that stress, anxiety, and overwhelm,
and throw it away.
Blow it into the processor.
And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see that superstition is expecting a specific result in a specific time, period, I should say it that way, versus energy work that creates positive things in my life without guarantees, and some positive outcomes can be really unexpected. Nice and easy. Take a breath and blow it out.
And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see that the basis for clearing is using intention and naming the negative energy as specifically as possible.
I love that part. Take a breath. And I want to say this. Yes, this one, naming the negative energy specifically, yes, I admit it takes a little bit of time, but if you go to the situation or a memory of something that you had, look around and see what were you feeling in the moment. And it could have been being numb, clear numbness, but it also could have been fear or anger and hate. And by the way, all of those are valid things to clear. In other words, if you're feeling an anger and hate about something, doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you somebody who's willing to get rid of that negative energy.
Just clear
and
it.
not let it hold you hostage anymore. So Jason, go ahead. Sorry, I went off.
And to eliminate the veils and illusions, so I can see that the basis for clearing is using intention. And did we
just did that one.
Yeah, okay. And to eliminate the veils and illusions, so I can see that for big life traumas, they must be cleared in layers, and being specific is the superpower. So those deep traumas can be removed in a way that is unknown today.
Yes. Take a breath. Nice and easy. And to eliminate the veils and illusions, so I can see that if the emotions are unknown, I can always describe the situation in a clearing statement. And by the way, then the emotions will show up and you can get rid of them. Throw them in that processor. Remember, the processor, when you put things, by using the processor, you're not throwing these negative energies around. So you get up and step back into them and you've wasted a lot of time. Throw them in the processor, throw them in a garbage can, so that you're not only helping your environment, but you're helping others in your environment as well. Take a breath. Nice and easy, everybody. Okay, Jason, go ahead.
And to eliminate the veils and illusions, so I can see that if emotions are unknown, I can always just describe the situation in a clearing statement.
Didn't we just say that one?
Nope. I don't know.
Yeah. Nice and easy. Take a breath, everybody. It's all right.
And to eliminate the barrier, so I can see that clearing works whether I feel it or not.
Take a breath. And to eliminate the barrier, so I can see that dark energy will often make me feel hopeless, or the clearing is not working as a way to protect it from being removed. In other words, everyone, when we are specific, that negative energy doesn't have a choice. It has to leave. Take a breath and throw it away. Jason?
And to eliminate the veils and illusions, so I can see that changing my thinking does not create real change. It's when I remove and change the energy that real, profound change happens.
Yes, take a breath. Nice. Very, very nice. And you know what? We did miss one, and it's this one. And to eliminate the veils and illusions, so I can see that for big life traumas, they must be cleared in layers, and being specific is the superpower. So those deep traumas can be removed in a way that is unknown today. Take a breath and throw it away. Jason, let's activate some life force. What do you say? One more time, life force energy is the most powerful energy. It's very, very, very positive. That's what it's all about. So follow along. I direct all my resources in all dimensions to activate, we talked about that, life force. So I can use this life force energy for everything that I need, want, desire, and deserve. So I can move forward in my life starting right now. You're going to pull that life force energy right in through the top of your head, let it go all the way to your tips of your toes. You're going to stop it right there. Then you're going to ask that life force energy to turn around and pick up any negative energy that you're still hanging on to. You don't need it. Nice and easy. Blow it out. Jason?
And to activate life force, so I can have hope to live an amazing life by constantly and consistently removing the negative energy in my life, and specifically.
Nice. Pull it in and blow it out. And to activate life force, so I can trust that clearing always works whether I feel it or not. Take a breath and blow it out.
And to activate life force so I can decide to use clearing and removing negative energy for the rest of my life.
And have fun with it. Nice and easy. Pull it in and blow it out. And to activate life force so I can be happy and healthy and creative, be able to heal myself and possibly heal others, have laughter and love and fun and joy, and see what's in my best interest and actually help myself each and every day to do minimum one amazing thing, one amazing positive thing to help my life today so I can be better tomorrow. Starting right now, pull in that life force energy and blow out any negative energies left over. Jason, what are we going to talk about next week?
You know, we're going to talk about programming yourself like a machine. Yes or no?
Oh, this is going to be interesting.
Now, if you've been listening for a while, you know, we've been talking about programming forever.
Yes,
and
we have.
But I feel like in a way that I'm crazy for doing this show
Okay.
because programming today is the norm. It's commonplace.
Yes, it is.
Who are we to say that it shouldn't be that way?
Well,
What
we might have a different perspective on it.
what about all the scientists who advocate for programming methods? Are they all wrong? How can a non-scientist like us stand up and say this is contrary to the way humans are designed?
Well done.
This show could change your life, but I think that you know, we had this conversation this morning. The problem is that we're trying to take you from a place of a programming place. We all do it.
A complete programming place.
And I want to say to people that have been listening for a while, it's not like we don't program ourselves ever.
Sure.
You know, there are certain things that we do, but we understand our purpose,
We do.
who we are, where we're going. And when you have that foundation, and then we're continuing to clear the negative energy that's attached to us from our emotional story,
Correct.
then okay, a little programming here and there is fine. Part of our philosophy is that we want to help you live in the world the way it is today. We're not trying to help you say, I'm going to sell all my worldly belongings and go live on a mountaintop away from civilization.
Right.
You know, that's a whole different thing. We
Correct.
want to help you live in the world the way it is.
Correct.
And the world, the way it is today, is a programmed one.
Yes.
And there's a lot of benefits too. I mean, we use technology
all the time.
We benefit from technology.
We do.
And we're not trying to go back to the natural way. We're not going to try and do something that doesn't work. We do like natural methods. We do like being natural, especially within yourself. It's a big deal. And that's what we're trying to help you with. So then the show next week is going to help you. Okay, if you're working for a big company, chances are you're going to be told to do programming method. You're going to be part of a programming processes and things like that, or helping other people to program themselves.
Sure.
How do you deal with it for yourself in a way that's healthy for you?
Okay.
And that's what we're going to talk about.
I like that.
So if today's show spoke to you, if you're getting goosebumps, say, yeah, I could do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to have a better life. Yeah, I know the stuff that I've been working on doesn't work. It hasn't been sustainable for me.
Correct.
I want to do something that's more natural, something that's more organic to me.
Okay.
Here's what you can do. First of all, listen to our show every week. Go to our website, theecosystemapproach.org, and sign up for our free section. And when you get the free section, you'll get the list of the clearings every week, and do those. The more you do, the better off you'll be. And go to our Facebook page, theecosystemapproach.org.
We'll connect next week, Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific and 4 p.m. Eastern Time. This is Transformation Talk Radio, and you're listening to the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia.
Remember, your ecosystem is the most important one in the world.
Thank you for listening to the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia. I'm Patricia. Tune in every week as we discuss practical ways to apply the ecosystem approach and develop your potential to live your life on your terms. For more information, visit our website at theecosystemapproach.org.